Okay, so welcome back to the Simraceway Sunday race-off. It's been a very exciting qualifying session. It could have been any one of three drivers, but it did go to Murray GT in the end. Let's see if he can perhaps hold on to it as we now wait for the arrival of those four red lights. The countdown begins, and now the tension really does start to rise. There's a couple of drivers who are really eyeing out that top spot today. They want to see what they can do, and now's the time for them to prove their worth. As the lights illuminating, go green flag here at Laguna Seca. Great start at the back there for Jim Wally, pulling right alongside Storm Giant as they stream down into the first couple of corners. Looking at the moment like it's going to be Storm Giant. He probably does lose out there to Jim Wally. But back in the main battle for the lead, Murray. Oh, he's spun it there! And that is Devlin, or Devil Brevin, has somehow kept that car going. He's lost the rear wing, but he's power slid it over the corner after being hit. And I think he's got a bit of damage to the rear wing, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, he somehow finds himself in a very peculiar situation in the lead of the race. Arguably, I'm sure he would have liked it to be a bit more, played out a bit more differently than it did. Yeah, you can definitely see he's missing that rear spoiler. And there goes Murray upside Tinty. He goes a bit wide, and Tinty's going to try and bite back. But there's no time to do it. And as they make their way up to the corkscrew for the first time, there's Tinty going wide as well. He's got himself back on, and he's going to lose a lot of positions. Exactly what I was talking about. This track really does demand the best, and Devil has a massive lockup, and he collides with the barriers. And that is surely going to be a dramatic turn of events. That car has no handling. The car went one way, the wheel snapped the other, and the rest was history. Devil Bevin finds himself in P6 right now. Not where he wants to be at all. VKS8 at the rear end of the field as well after a bit of a collision earlier on. Tinty into the pit lane to serve a stop and go as Devil Bevin tries to pass Fups here. He takes it on the inside. He loses another one. So Devil Bevin is flying down the field at the moment. He's losing positions left, right and centre. Really is like taking candy from a baby at that stage. There's not much he can do except for hope and pray for a mistake, and his own speed will be enough to catch the drivers a bit later on. And as the race starts to wear on, then we've only done lap 1 out of 9, and already Murray GT finds himself with a 1.7 second lead over Jim Wally. And as we said, Wally had a bit of an unfortunate quali session, but he had an amazing start, and that now puts him up into second position. We know what this man's capable of, we know his speed, but can he keep up with Murray GT, who's somewhat decimated qualifying at the end by a tenth of a second? So as the cars approach the very top and bring their way back down now as they're going towards the corkscrew. Just take a look at what a beautiful corner this really is as they'll fly their way over the top of it. There goes Murray GT. There goes Jim Wally. Through there is P3 of Pash 223. And Devil's off again. And his race goes from bad to worse. He's lost another position. VKS8 and Fups. Oh, he's hit Fups. And that should be a penalty. Careless arrival back onto the circuit. And poor old Fups unfortunately felt the sheer brunt force of a Mitsubishi Evo slamming into you. Have a Storm Giant on the attack here against Pash 233 at the inside of the final corner. It is a bit of a wild run, but he's going to get the slipstream into turn 1, that's for sure. Whether it will be enough to get him the position still remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out, but right now it looks like he's going to try at the inside. He definitely does. And Pack has got nowhere to go really except to try and hold his line and swoop it round, but by the time he's got enough speed to do so, he's already lost that position, and that position's already about a second up the road. So it's taking it back. What happened with Fups as well, going back into the corkscrew. Did feel slightly sorry for him as Devil Bevin rejoined the circuit, swung his car back round into the path of Fups, who unfortunately now finds himself down in P8 now have to wait and see what the outcome of this incident is going to be, if there's going to be any repercussions for either driver. Well, I've got a feeling that Storming Giant and Pack Bow is not over yet at all. We're only a third of the way into the race, and already it looks like Pack has got himself an almighty run as he goes up in towards the corkscrew. I don't think he'll be able to make a move. And he's broken a bit late. He's got to be careful on that braking line. If you get one for that apex, you get it on the sand, the dirty part of the racetrack, you end up like Devil Bevan, flying across, careering into the barrier. So out the 3 times he's had an incident at the corkscrew today in the race, one of the fastest men earlier on now finds himself really struggling at the back of the field. Devil Bevan in the final corner inside of VKR was very close. He's trying to push back through the field right now. At the final straight, he wants to get himself back up in front as soon as he can. He knows this man's got pace. He had a brilliant qualifying session. Unfortunately, his race thus far has not been as productive. At the inside of turn 1, big lockup and a slight kiss of the door bonnet there for VKS. He has nowhere to go. A very aggressive pass there by Devil. He's keen, isn't he, to say the least, to get his race back on go again. And look at that as well. Now just behind it could be double trouble as Fups tries to push his way back through as well. Question is, can he make the pass going in towards turn 6? It's close. And he very sensibly backed out of it. On the inside through turn 7, and he's not going to get the move done through there at all, unfortunately. Fups so destined to try and go back up the inside. He feels that position should be his on the corkscrew, and he very sensibly backed out. VKS goes deep, and Fups gets a little chance, and he cut through there like a hot knife through butter. Oh, I think it's like a knife through hot butter, but either way, cut it in half, come right back underneath, and VKS left so open to attack. And that was exactly what happened. The Pack and Storm Giant battle still rages on lap number 5 out of 9. With Jim Wally in P2 and Mariah GT in P1. Jim Wally, Storm Giant and Pack are all kind of getting a little bit closer together now. Will be very interesting to see how that one pans out. And trying to keep an eye on what the guys a bit further back are doing as well. More importantly, how Devil is trying to push his way back through the field. Next up on his hit list will be Reaper 88. So let's just see how he makes a mess of this one then. Will he get himself through? Will he not? He goes a little bit too wide, I think, there going in towards turn number 6. And as he climbs the hill now, in towards number 7. Up the inside, and Reaper's going to go a little bit too wide. That's going to allow Devil to sneak one up the inside, and that should be a given. Red Evo's glancing, they're jousting away, and I think Devil's cut a bit too abruptly, and he's going to go wide. He somehow holds his line. Courageous driving there by Devil, and that is just how much he's willing to risk to get his race back under control before it's too late. He wants a good result here today, and he will do anything it takes to achieve it, it seems. A bit of a nudge there, both cars taking the impact, but still, the order remains the same. Devil keeps in front. They were actually quite lucky there. I thought that was going to end quite differently, so massive well done to both of them for their car control. They've impressed quite a few people out there today. But it's the second, third and fourth battle that we're keeping an eye on. Pack, Storm Giant and Jim Wally are all slowly closing up together. Not too sure how long it's going to be before they finally meet in a battle. But all we know is we've got about 3.5 laps left of this race for them to do so. And now already you can really feel the pressure as Jim Wally's got a very nasty rear view behind him. Two very feisty Evos. Storm Giant, one of them, gets a bit of a bad exit though, coming out of the corkscrew, and that will be a saving grace there for a while. Into the final corner, and Storm Giant is gone a bit too wide. I'd say too wide. I think he just locked the brakes really. As Pack now, they have a bit of a run on him. The rest of the field have all separated out pretty much as we go into the final stint of this race. Except for P2, 3 and 4 who are still within catching range. But more importantly right now, it's all about Storm Giant. He's got to try and defend his position. We're not too sure how long he can hold on for there. As we say, P3 at the moment, but we're not too sure, as we say, if he will be there for much longer at all. There is, of course, only one way to find out, as I think now it's Pat going a little bit wide. Going in towards turn number 5, and that's not going to compromise his number 6 entry, but we'll lose him a little bit of time as he tries to climb the hill. And look how close Pack is getting now as well. The Storm Giant, oh, the sparks coming off that Evo there. That was very scary indeed. I thought that car was bottoming to the ground through the corkscrew. The one corner you really don't want to bottom out, really, considering the very harsh elevation change. First race starts the penultimate lap, then he leads the field currently with Jim Wally second, Storm Giant third and Pack in fourth. Devil Brevin in P5 after a big lockup, but can he catch the cars in front? He's 9 seconds away from Pat and he's got 2 laps, so he needs roughly about 5 seconds a lap now on the rest of the drivers if he has any chance of getting a higher finish in P5. We'll see what he can do. I don't think really it's a meetable objective. Murray's Jim Wally, and then you've got P3 as well. You can still see how Storm Giant is under pressure. But it's not enough. I don't think Packy's consistent enough. He keeps making minor mistakes, and because of those minor errors, it's enabling Storm Giant to cling on by the skin of his teeth right now to that third position. There's a podium place at stake. And it really does seem that right now Storm Giant is getting the better, because again, Pack goes wide and it's costing him. Every corner he should be getting a nice run, he's not doing it. Into the penultimate corner comes the trio again as Packy's coming under a little bit of pressure. I think almost down by Devil. In fact, Devil's only 7 seconds away. So he needed 5 seconds a lap. He's got 2 in the first 2 sectors. So he's not that far away, but again, I don't think it's enough. Despite that lap being as quick as it was, he's not going to be a happy bunny by the end of this race. Just to clarify, 144.5 for Pack 23, and it's going to be a massive 143.3 for Devil, so 2 seconds quicker. But as the final lap gets underway, Jim Wally is really succumbing to the pressure right now. He's losing a lot of time, just 1.4 tenths up in front of Jim Wally, and it's not going to be enough for Storm Giant, I don't think, to be able to pass. But we'll wait and see. I think Jim Wally's got his defensive hat on. He knows how to defend the car, and that's going to be his saving grace, I think, during this next couple of moments. And a bit wide there for Storm Giant. Is that going to allow Pack 23 to get a run? Maybe not. As much as I thought it would be. So as they now find themselves going down in towards the corkscrew once again. And oh, this is going to be close. The two white Evos are getting very close together right now. Giant's made an error, and Pack has capitalised all over it. Only a few corners to go. As Murray GT round to final corner, he took pole position. He's going to go all the way here today. Murray GT is your winner of the Simraceway Sunday race-off week number 35 here today. He's done a tremendous job, and I'll be so happy with that. Let's take a look at P2. Who's that in the background? That's Storm Giant. He's lost it. And he's struggling to get back on, but it's P2 to Jim Wally, P3 to Pack. Storm Giant barely stays in front of Devil Bevan. You've got to feel as well at the end of that if in one more lap, and Devil Bevan may have had something to say about that, but a very unfortunate error there. Reaver 88 crosses the line in 6th with Tinty. Again, a race which could have been very different in P7. VSK not too far behind in P8. He finishes in front of Fups in 9th, and that rounds out all of our runners for today's race. So 3 down, 2 to go. We've got the 2 big races coming up for you very shortly, so don't go anywhere. So myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you in a couple of moments back here at Laguna Seca.